Every year, thousands of people go missing. Most are eventually found, but some cases leave behind questions that never get answered.
Tonight, we're diving into cases so strange they continue to fuel theories decades later. Welcome back to Side Quest Society.
What is up, my guys? We survived the float trip.
What it do, and welcome back. We survived indeed.
Yeah, everybody bitched out. I mean, it was only the four of us, which is fine. I think it was a suiting way to celebrate
Yeah,
our 10 year.
yeah. There's a fitting way to bring it in for sure.
Yeah, just the original four. We had a lot of fun.
Yep. Everyone was afraid of the rain and they started canceling.
Yep. Not a peep of thunder, not an ounce of rain. It was like sprinkling in the morning time, but by the time we got on the river, it was fine. Even got a little bit of sun there at the last part, so it was a nice, decent float trip. The water was shallow, but the river was still, rolling pretty decently, so it was not a quick trip, not a short, not a long trip. And I lost where I was going with that. Oh, it wasn't very hot either until like there at the very end when the sun came out. So like we didn't really get burnt. We got nice good tan, base tans at
Yeah.
least started.
We got to work on our paddleboarding skills a good bit.
Yeah, our best friend, it was her first time on her paddleboard. I bought it for her birthday. So she spent the good first 30 minutes trying to learn the mechanics of rowing and how that goes. So that was a good trip. Can't wait for the next one.
We forgot to set a timer.
Oh no. It'll be alright. Winging it today.
I was like, man, she's talking really fast. And I was like, oh, we have no timer to judge our stuff. All right, then.
It'll be alright. Well, today we are getting into what we're calling the Vanishing Files. So, yeah.
Va-
Missing people that there's no real explanation for it. I mean, there are some conclusions to some of them, but
Yeah, some stories have, we'll call it a narrative or they
yeah.
have a closing of them, but
Yeah.
there's no real definitive answers, I guess.
Yeah. I guess we'll start with the missing 411 files, which is like the disappearances that have been happening in the national parks. I apologize if I pronounce this man's last name wrong. I'm not quite sure how it is, but David Paulides. He's a 20-year law enforcement officer. I don't think he's still in law enforcement, but
No, he's retired.
he's retired, but
He did
he
like SWAT team
yeah,
and he did a lot of different things in law enforcement.
but like I don't quite sure how it got introduced to it, but I know there was like what was there like a forest ranger and whatnot that came up to him when he was at a park one time that brought it to his attention that these people there are a lot of disappearances, like weird disappearances, like out of nowhere with no reasoning, no evidence, no nothing. They just like they were sucked into the earth or vanished off the face of the earth. So he started doing investigations and whatnot, and he found that there were a lot of weather shifts and stuff that happened around these times too. So a lot that lots of rain and whatnot that would wash away like evidence or scent trails or whatnot. But there was so many when I was looking that I had to just like cherry pick. So I'll mention a couple names, then you can go and do the research on those if you want. But the most, I don't want to say famous one, but the one that pops up the most when you search this is Dennis Martin, which was a 6-year-old who disappeared in the Great Smoky Mountains in 1969. They went up to this spot that's kind of on the border of Tennessee and North Carolina. They were just having a good day out there. He was playing hide and seek with his family and whatnot, and he just vanished within minutes. There were no sightings, no nothing. They couldn't. There was a huge search. There was even the Green Berets were even brought in to search for him and what, and he was
Yeah.
never found. There was nothing ever found. No like blood, no tissue, no clothing, no nothing ever found of this little boy. And to this day, there is no conclusion to it. He's just,
It
it's
was
like,
like the biggest search in that time
yeah,
with like all the people that had the helicopters and like you said, so many Green Berets.
yeah.
They had a lot of assets out
And it
there
was like
searching for
within
him.
like the very like within hours of this little boy going missing that the search was huge. There were so many people that came out to search for this little boy, and nothing was ever found.
Yeah, not one thing. Just like he completely vanished.
Yeah. Another one, Stephen Kubiak, which is in 1978. He was a cross country skier that disappeared in Montana. There were tracks onto a frozen lake found, but no tracks ever coming back. 15 months later, he reappeared, claiming memory loss. So there was nothing to no conclusion to his disappearance, and he was gone for 15 months and just
Yeah, I'm not gonna say conveniently, but he doesn't have a recollection
yeah.
of anything, and so there's no explanation. He has no answers for anybody, and nobody has answers for him.
No. It's crazy. Like it just there was just so many. There's the most recent that I have found was Dior Coons Jr., which was a 2 year old who disappeared in um 2015. He went camping with his family in Idaho. It was his parents, his grandpa, and his grandpa's friend. His grandpa's friend and his mom and dad went down to the creek to go fishing. The little boy followed them for a minute
Hmm.
and then decided he didn't want to go and he was going to stay with grandpa. His mom watched him turn around and walk back to his grandpa. And then when they come back, like the little boy is gone. The grandpa's like, they asked the grandpa, like, where is he? And he's like, he's right over there. And he's not there. So they have done numerous searches and they have found nothing. They searched the river on their hands, and not the river because it was just a small, like very shallow creek. So like you wouldn't be able to
Yeah,
see,
more like a ditch. Yeah,
yeah, kind of. But it was very shallow. You would be able to see if there was a child or anybody in this creek. But yeah, they searched on their hands and knees through this creek. They searched up the mountain. They searched all over. Nothing is ever found of this child. There was another child in 1999. His name was Jared Atiero. Sorry if I'm pronouncing any of these names wrong. Uh, they did later find his remains, like years later, but he during the search, nothing was ever found of
right.
him. Another one in 1952, Keith Parkins. He's a 2 year old that was found miles away from where he went missing through,
Oh,
and it was very rough terrain. Like
yeah.
no 2 year old could
I
have.
vaguely remember that case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you regular remember? It was 1952.
I mean, I in our research, I vaguely
Yeah,
remember like
but it's
coming across that
also what
case.
I don't is Riker. I'm not sure if his last name is kind of more of a recent case. He was found 2 days later in like a shed. The one I
Oh
showed you.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think I remember seeing you
yeah.
watch
A
that
lot of
video or
people
something. Yeah.
on the internet are saying that they didn't really find him, but yeah, like that's another one. It was another like Appalachian case, like. And then in 1976, Trinity Gibson, she was a teenager that went on it was like a field trip with the school. She disappeared within minutes. There was nothing ever found of her. And then there's the Yuba County Five in 1978. They did eventually find the one guy in a cabin. He starved to death. That then there's
I think they found four of them, and only one of them was still missing out of that group of five.
well, anyway, the one was found in a
Yeah,
cabin where
he had starved to death in a
yeah
cabin full of propane and food.
yeah. So like, what's happening in these national parks?
Like
Is
it was locked up, but he didn't make any attempt to try to open it or
but
whatever.
at that point, like I was saying earlier, like at that point, maybe he was just so weak that there was no
Yeah,
way
he had like hypothermia or
he
delirious or
yeah,
something
like
in
maybe
there.
he just went in there to die.
Yeah,
Like he finally found shelter and then he
yeah.
got in there and then yeah, he just
He
died.
had enough strength to make it through the elements to find shelter, and then he just
Yeah,
succumbed to everything.
yeah,
Yeah, but that the Yuba one,
yeah.
that one's always stuck with me. I remember coming across that. And then I've seen a lot of clips about this Dave guy who does this missing 411. This is fairly a new thing for me to
Mhm.
hear about. Um, but yeah,
Sorry.
he was brought it was brought to his attention by some park rangers that knew that he wasn't gonna stop. He was gonna find an answer.
Yeah.
And this man's drive and some of the things he's seen and some of the things he talked about, some of the cases where like some of these either like I don't remember what American agency it was like Homeland or whatever, but he's trying to apply for Freedom of Information Act
Yeah.
request. And a lot of these cases, they simply say nope due to national security. So I think it is like Homeland Security or
Yeah.
DHS or whatever. Um, they just won't tell him nothing. He said in particular he had one case where this guy called him and told him, "Is that you're never gonna get your hands on this case. You're never gonna pull another FOIA request.
Yeah.
Like it's insanity. Like why? What are they trying to cover up?"
Yeah. Like what's going on in these national parks? Are there? Is it portals? Is it cryptids? Is it things? And like, what is it? Is it aliens? Is it UFOs? Like, what is it about the national parks in themselves that all these people, and I mean that I barely barely
Yeah,
graze the
that's not
surface
even a
with these.
teenth.
No, like I could. This could be a whole episode in itself. Just the missing 411 files. Like it's crazy how many there are.
Yeah.
Like, is it cave systems? Like we were talking with the cryptid episode. Like, are there cave systems that people disappear to or disappear in? Are these cave system portals? Are there things hiding in these cave systems that take people? Like, what is it?
Right. When you have like that Dennis Martin case that you talked about,
Hmm.
to have that presence of so much
Yeah,
military and all this stuff, it opened the doors for a lot of people to wonder why are you sending
yeah.
like why literally the military into
Green
the
berets
woods?
at
Yeah,
that.
like the elite.
Like military, I can get, but Green Berets, like
Yeah.
the elite.
Yeah, we're not calling the weekend warriors or
Yeah,
National Guard or whatever. We're in here calling like yeah,
yeah,
SEAL teams and stuff. Like why? Why would we have to use that? I mean, I believe that a missing person deserves
yeah,
that kind
definitely.
of response. Most
Especially a
definitely. Yeah,
child.
don't mistake what I'm trying to say with that. But to send the abundance of highly trained professionals in
Yeah,
there, like, is there something that you were worried about them coming across?
it's just,
Why won't you let the people access freedom of information? What is the national security
yeah,
that you are trying to keep us from?
yeah. It's just all. It's like also with people trying to investigate stuff in the Grand Canyon. Why is the Grand Canyon now all of a sudden there are spots that you can't go
Well,
to?
it's not so that it's been restricted for a long
But
time,
still,
but
in general, like
it's now just really becoming real popular that we are talking about that you can't go to and the supposed lure of the things they found there.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories of strange disappearances?
Okay. So I guess we can talk about Stonehenge. Stonehenge, as I called it.
Stonehenge.
Yeah. So, in our research for doing this episode, I came across a few different things. This one story kind of stuck out to me. It was pretty good. I thought Stoned Hinged was a fitting name for
But it's
this
not
show.
Stonehenge.
I know because it's Stonehenge,
Yeah.
and I'm calling it Stonehenge because of the elevation of the show
I gotcha. I gotcha.
and because of the particular people that are involved in the story.
Okay. 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 I gotcha.
So, this story takes place. It is an actual event that took place in August 31st of 1971.
Yeah.
So on the actual place of Stonehenge, the monument is what you want to call it.
It's a landmark.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like it's one of the seven wonders of the world.
I couldn't remember if it was seven, eight. I think they added one now or
I
something.
don't
I don't know.
remember.
So Stonehenge, everyone's familiar with. It's got the mono or not monolith. It's got the little pillars that
Yeah.
come up out of the ground.
And there's stuff stacked on top and whatnot.
Yeah. So in August 31st of 1971, this group of alleged hippies decided that they were going to go camp out and celebrate. You know, they were seen earlier in that day. just hanging out, doing the hippie things, probably
Yeah.
hacky sacking, whatever, just playing a guitar, that kind of stuff, making hemp clothes.
Making him
Who knows?
close.
Who knows? But they were just hanging out. Wasn't bothering anybody, nothing. They'd set up campsites, there were tents and everything there in the direct center. So at approximately 2 a.m. in that morning, this terrible thunderstorm breaks out, and it seems to be like focused just right there on Stonehenge itself. There's a police officer. He's on his route. He happens to be walking, I guess, like patrolling the area around
Mm-hmm.
this place.
Yeah.
There's probably like a national forest like we have, or like a national park.
Yeah.
And then there's a farmer that was also nearby who happened to be moving some farm equipment, getting his day started.
Yeah.
So they see this storm, this terrible bolt of like lightning or some kind of electrical explosion is the way they describe it. This blinding white, piercing blue white light just magnifies right in the middle of this campsite. So they go running. They think that obviously these alleged hippies have been struck by lightning and stuff like that. They are quoted to have heard blood curdling screams and god awful calls out and cries and everything like that. When the time the farmer and the officer get there, there are no people. The tents are not singed or anything like that. They still have smoldering logs from their fire earlier in the night, but there's no sign of anybody. Despite hearing those screams, no sign of nobody. And the tents don't appear to be like struck by lightning or anything like that. But they know that there was people there.
It's crazy. I think structures like that definitely. I mean, it's been. I don't want to say proven, but they proven that structures like Stonehenge and the pyramids
Easter
and
Island.
yeah, the heads of Easter Island. There's Aztec monuments and stuff like that. They have significance. What we don't 100% know, but yeah, like what opened up there that
Yeah, I'm not ruling out that there aren't, multiple other gods. So these temples or these markers, whatever you want to call these landmarks, like
yeah.
they may exist as some kind of deity or some kind of god or some kind of
Yeah.
something. So yeah, they most definitely probably hold some kind of power.
Oh yeah.
Just simply people going there and worshiping gives it power.
Of course. That's crazy.
So
Could it have been aliens though?
right, so I think that that would lead most people to believe that what you're hearing, those screams from those people would be, they don't know what's going on or whatever. I'm sure that whatever kind of tractor beam or whatever you want to call it would be pulling them up would feel weird. So you're
Yeah.
gonna call out and everything like. So abduction, I wouldn't say is definitely like a plausibility for sure.
Yeah.
I think that that's what the story would allude is probably what
Mm,
happened. The best way, you see a blinding white light or whatever. They said that it was a thunderstorm. So I don't know.
yeah. Well, we'll never know.
Could it just have been like the planets aligned just in the right way or whatever, and whatever that site was used for, just like teleported those people somewhere? I don't know.
What is that thing called? In
Stargate?
no, well, I mean, yeah, but no. What is? It's in. It's da-da-da-da, in Norse mythology. Would so Odin and Thor? That's Norse gods, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the at
You talking about that bridge that they
yeah. What
cross?
is that?
Asgard?
Well, no, that's where they
No.
live. Anyway, yeah. Well, what if it was something like that?
I mean, yeah, who knows?
Opened up the gate to.
Let us know in the comments what the name of that place is.
Yeah, it.
We're not up on our Marvel
I mean,
stuff.
I am. I know the stuff. I know what
Yeah.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about,
you're bigger into the Marvel movies than I
but
am.
I don't remember what the name of it is.
Yeah.
Oh, Idris Elba opened the gate and took him away.
I can see it in my head too. I don't remember what the bridge's name.
Like it's right there on the tip of my tongue.
I just want to say the Rainbow Bridge, but that's not right.
No, I mean, it does look like a rainbow bridge. Like
Mario Kart,
it's all like
Rainbow Road.
color. Damn, what is the name of it?
I don't know. Drop us down in the comments. Let us know.
Dang. Oh well.
Because that's going to bother us all night
And
now.
I'll look it up as soon as I
Maybe
get
we'll
my phone
figure it out
back.
by the end of the episode.
I won't. I have to look it up, but my phone's up there, so I can't. Don't you have another like alien-esque story?
um, yeah, I'm not sure if I would say this one is definitely okay. I lie. Now that I remember, I had to look at my cue cards. Yep, definitely alien related. So this gentleman, Granger Taylor, he's from Vancouver Island. The story takes place in 1980.
Mhm.
So, little backstory on this guy. He's kind of like a little bit of a genius, a prodigy or whatever.
Mhm.
He's very
An idiot savant.
he's very mechanically inclined.
Mhm.
Um, so he actually rebuilt both a older steam engine locomotive from just scrap pieces that he
Mhm.
found, put this all together by just the
Yeah.
knowledge. Again, this is the 80s, so he didn't have the internet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's.
So both a steam engine locomotive and or a steam engine. I don't remember if it was a locomotive. Don't misquote me on that one. Steam engine and uh, a World War II fighter plane, all from just pieces that he put together, that he found, collected.
Hell yeah.
So, um, he dropped out of school at like 8th grade, and he's been doing his thing. So, in his 20s, he started getting fascinated with like aliens and stuff like that. He got a couple of satellite dishes, the big huge satellite dishes that your grandparents used to have in the backyard.
Yeah.
Satellite dishes are a whole nother thing that I can side quest on. That's strange. Why don't they move? Um. Anyway, so he got these two giant satellite dishes, put them together, made like a replica UFO. He
Yeah.
put a little couch in there, put him a lamp, little TV, and everything. It was his living quarters
Yeah.
for a couple months. He's just living in that thing, having a good old time.
Like that UFO that was up in. Where was that UFO in South Carolina?
Oh man, yeah,
I
it caught
finally.
on fire.
Yeah, it burnt down
Yeah,
like a couple years ago.
yeah. I don't remember. It's
Somewhere off
not
of
too.
95, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was right over there by Bowman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was near Bowman, South Carolina. Anyways, so he's living in this UFO replica, and then he starts telling his friends that he's getting these transmissions. He's hearing these things. He's having these dreams,
Oh.
right? So he's getting messages,
Yeah.
living in this satellite UFO. So he ends up telling his friend that, he's going to be abducted soon, that, he's got this transmission. It's going to happen. And then I believe, I wanted to find the exact date here. So November 29th, 1980.
Mm.
Storm starts to brew up in his little town.
Why is it always a storm? Do
I,
they have to hide in the
it's
clouds?
the electrical frequencies or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
So November 29th, 1980. Storm starts to brew up. He goes to a diner, has a nice little meal, leaves. Everyone in the diner said seems fine, normal, whatever. He left a note on his parents' kitchen table
Hmm.
telling him that he was going on a 24-month interstellar voyage upon an alien spaceship and that all of his belongings are now theirs. And he was never seen of or heard from again.
Hmm.
Completely disappeared, vanished. No one has seen him. Approximately 6 years later, some loggers were doing some clearings deep, deep in the woods in between some mountain ranges not too far from where he lived.
Yeah.
And they found a blast crater with specks of pink metal matching the type of paint and similar metals of his truck. And then they found bone fragments. It doesn't specify human bone fragments or whatever, but small bone fragments. So his friends don't know if he built some kind of crazy
Hmm.
contraption and he tried to
Blast
reach out
off.
and touch somebody from
Jimmy
whatever,
Neutron the shit.
or if maybe he caught a legitimate ride.
Craziness. That's crazy.
So those are like two like UFO inspired ones.
Yeah, I mean,
There,
kind of. That Stonehenge one could be anything.
yeah, I would still think that my money, if I was a betting man, would go on like an alien
Alien.
abduction. If it's a true actual event,
Yeah, there's two
and
witnesses.
yeah, and like everything seemed untouched, unscorched, it didn't resemble getting struck by lightning, then how else would you explain it? Easiest explanation is abduction
Yeah,
or teleportation, like we said,
yeah. Hmm.
planetary alignment, and
I don't know. Craziness. I got a crazy one. This one, I mean, this one kind of falls into maybe portals, could be possible aliens, but kind of deals with like the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is, that little. I think it covers 500,000 square miles of space. There are plenty of flight paths and shipping tracks that go through there. And we all know there are plenty of stories.
it's like 90 miles off the coast of South Carolina, right?
Well, Bermuda is
Okay, okay. Not the Bermuda Triangle.
not the
It's a
Bermuda.
lot closer than.
Yes, it's like it kind of makes this triangle right off the coast of Florida.
Okay, that's
So
right. That's right.
it covers like the Bahamas and that small, like off the
Right.
coast of into the Atlantic. So Bermuda is 90 miles off of the coast of like North Carolina and whatnot. So yeah.
I spoke too soon.
So not Bermuda, but the Bermuda Triangle. But this is one of I remember hearing this case a long time ago, so I thought I really wanted to add it. It's the case of Flight 19. So I have a lot of cue cards here, so bear with me. I want to make sure I get all this right. So Flight 19, Wednesday, December 1945, at 2:10 p.m. A group of 5 torpedo bombers comprised of TBM Grumman Avengers. I guess that's the type of plane it is. Led by Lieutenant Taylor, deported Naval Air Station Fort Lauderdale, which is in Florida, of course, heading east to Hens and Chicken Shoals in the Bahamas for a mock bombing exercise in a designated area. They were supposed to continue flying after their mission, after they did their exercise. They were supposed to continue flying 90 degrees for 73 miles, then turn 346 degrees north, head that direction for 73 miles, then then turn 241 degrees southwest and head in that direction for 120 miles back to Fort Lauderdale, back to base. Um, 2 to 3 hours total flight time. Everything started off fine, and then about 3:40 p.m. the crew started to state that they were
Sorry. Make sure that was the dog snoring.
probably she's all curled up in a little croissant over here. But anyway, like I was saying, everything started out fine, but by 3:40 p.m. things started taking a turn for the worst, and the crew started expressing feelings of unease and that things started to look unfamiliar. Around this time, another bomb squadron led by Lieutenant Cox were airborne, and he picked up a distress call from Lieutenant Taylor, stating that I'll quote, both of my compasses are out, and I'm trying to find Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I am over land, but it's broken. I am sure I'm over the Keys, but don't know how far down. And I don't know how to get back to Fort Lauderdale. By 4:30 p.m., the weather took a turn for the worst. So that pretty sure that made it difficult to even find
The
anything.
weather again.
Again, the weather, always the weather.
Should have made this episode the weather.
Right? By 5:15 p.m., Lieutenant Taylor said he had turned west. 5 minutes later, his last transmission stated that he was going to go 207 degrees west until he hit Fort Lauderdale. They could still hear the crew talking to each other for over an hour. 6:20 p.m. was Lieutenant Taylor's last order to his men. He said, we will have to ditch unless we hit landfall. When the last plane dips below 10 gallons, we will all go down together. 5 days of searching. Oop, no. I'm missing a card. There we go. Let's see. 5 days of searching.
Elevation.
Right? Okay. As everything was starting to get darker, they asked 2 additional PBM Martin Mariners that were on their own training mission. They asked them to divert from their training mission to assist in the sorry, I've been backing up here so I sound like I'm in a what you call it?
In a cup.
In a cup, sorry. Bring this to me. There we go. So, again, they brought in 2 additional planes to assist in trying to help find these 5 planes. Why are you smiling over there? Am I talking with my hands?
No.
What?
Just keep going.
Fine. Anyway, at 7 p.m., they split to cover up more ground. 30 minutes later, one of the mariners requested a radio check and then almost immediately fell silent. So 5 days of searching for 6 planes now. The AC go? Yeah, the AC went off. That was what I didn't hear.
The air sea. The air sea.
Fuck you. Anyway, by December 10th.
Mongo is appalled.
By December 10th, 930 searches had been flown. They never found anything. As time went on, embellishments to the story were added, through the telephone game of whatnot. It is said that the crew stated that they didn't feel that the sea didn't look as it should, that everything started looking strange, that they were entering white waters, and didn't dive into that. I didn't want to get sidetracked earlier, so I don't quite know what that means, and that they were chased by a UFO. But those are, again, they're not definitive.
Yeah, those are not confirmed transmissions.
Yeah, it's not confirmed transmissions, but it is, over the years, is said that it's added. But again, the Bermuda Triangle has plenty of disappearance and stories, whether it's ships, planes, or whatnot.
I think this story in particular is one of the ones that really gave the Bermuda Triangle its signature, the Bermuda Triangle. I think this is probably one of the.
I mean, there's plenty of.
Yeah, there has been so many, but I think this is really one of the ones that set it off. So I've done a little deep dive into the Bermuda Triangle a little bit too myself. I love aircrafts and I love aeronautical everything. I love aeronautical stories. Unfortunately, I don't want to come off feeling like callous. I don't enjoy aeronautical disasters, but of course, I want to learn about them. I want to find out what happened. I want to know what was going on.
Yeah.
My father worked on airplanes all my life, so it makes sense.
Yeah. It's a very integral part of your life.
Yeah.
You have a flight story?
Yep. And who doesn't love an air show?
It's been years since I've been to one. We were supposed to go this year, but of course.
Yeah.
With the state of the world and whatnot, it was canceled.
Yeah. So, yeah, because it was going to be at, like, obviously a military base. So
well, yeah, they moved
the military base is on,
they
red alert.
They moved it off the Air Force base.
Yeah, so they only had the air show.
Huh?
They only had that, like, the aerial show. They didn't have.
They didn't even have the aerial show. Remember, it got canceled. They moved it to the port, so you'd have to find parking or whatnot. There was no like designated stuff. But then it was rainy that weekend, so they canceled the entire.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They did scrap it because of the weather. That's right. That's right.
Sucked because it's been years. I think I was.
Yeah, we were so excited.
God, I was in middle school probably the last time I went.
Yeah. I could talk all day about air shows.
Right, let's not get into that. Tell me your flight story.
But with that note being, this next one is a story. It is one that has stuck with me. It is up there on my level of deep dives and conspiracy theories and stuff. Now with modern day stuff, we do know a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
but this is probably one of the earlier rabbit holes. Obviously, like I think 9/11 was probably like my biggest one, and I didn't really start deep diving into that until around like 2010.
Yeah.
It's probably when I really started to look into that. So this happened in 2014, so it's kind of right around that time. So this is always one that stuck with me. So I figured we might as well talk about it. And this, of course, is Malaysian Flight 370. So before I get started, of course, this is a tragedy and it is unfortunate, and I'm so sorry. My heart goes out to the families.
Yeah.
I wish that we had a better answer.
Yeah. Definitely.
But if you're not familiar with this case, March 8th of 2014, Boeing 777 bearing the call sign Malaysian Flight 370.
MH370.
Yep. Did I say Malaysian flight?
You said Malaysian flight.
Mm. All right.
MH370.
On board had a crew or had an onboard of 239 people.
Yeah.
So that was captain, crew, everybody. So it was leaving. Yeah, forgive me. I'm gonna do my best to pronounce this. Or I'll just let you pronounce it. You'll pronounce it better. No,
Let me see it again.
it's the. I taught myself how to remember how to say it, so I didn't mess it up, and I don't want
Yeah,
to
we said
accidentally.
Kuala Limbo something.
Yeah,
So I know it's Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur.
yeah, Kuala Lumpur, which
Kuala
is
Lumpur.
actually the capital of
Yeah.
Malaysia.
Kuala Lumpur.
So it was leaving Kuala Lumpur, and it was on its way to Beijing.
Cool. Yeah. Sorry, not laughing at that. Koala. You said the way you were trying to remember it earlier was Koala Limbo Poor.
Koala's Limbo Poor. All right, yeah, I'm autistic. Let's talk about that.
It's funny because I remember when you were in college, we used to do that with some of your medical terms.
Yeah, we
We would
definitely had to do that with medical
we would
terminology.
come up with ways to remember it. Sorry, side quest.
All good. So there's a Boeing 777,
Yeah.
239 souls on board. It took off. It was a regular routine flight.
Mm-hmm.
Everything seemed to be going fine. Um, since it was like an international flight, they were
Yeah.
going from Malaysia to Beijing, whatever. They're gonna cross into international airspaces and stuff like that. So they have what they call a dead zone.
Yeah.
Basically, they're gonna leave Malaysian air traffic control where like they can monitor, talk, and see them and all that kind of stuff. Going into I believe it would be the Chinese or whatever would be the next
Yeah.
adjacent. I don't think I put that in my notes. Anyways, so they were going through this dead zone. They call out to the Malaysian air traffic, normal response, everything. They say their good night call sign at 1:19 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Approximately 2 minutes later, at 1:21 a.m., the transponders on the plane are manually shut off.
Hmm.
So just after the plane entered into the dead zone from leaving Malaysian airspace, the transponders are now turned off. I don't remember exactly how long it's supposed to be before they make their contact. It was only just be a few minutes till they make their next contact. There's never no contact on the other side.
Yeah.
The plane seems to disappear completely. Nobody knows what's going on with it, where it went. Complete confusion. It's not being tracked anywhere. So the military was able to track it with their satellites for a brief period.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Following it. So basically, what they tracked it to doing is basically after it went into its dead zone, it pulled a U-turn
Mm-hmm.
and it came back and it flew below the air levels where like air traffic control and other things like that could track it. It knew the blind spots. Whoever was piloting the plane knew strategically how to fly it unseen.
Yeah.
So the military was able to record its flight pattern up until the Ottoman Sea. and then it went out of the reach of the military. So
Hmm.
at that point, we don't know what happened at all. We didn't know at the time about the military tracking or anything like that. That was only we found that into the discovery,
Hmm.
into the investigation. They discovered that, and so again, it's someone that knows this area, that knows where the blind spots are, that knows where how to fly this thing unseen and
Yeah.
untraceable. Now, with that being said, the military lost it in the Ottoman Sea. That's not where the flight ended, apparently. So even though the manual transponders were turned off and we had no way to communicate, track on it, or anything like that, there was an internal satellite transponder that was never disconnected. This thing basically just kind of sends a ping like your cell phone does.
Yeah.
It sends a signal to the airplane and then it sends it back.
Hmm.
And it kind of, gives like a general location or whatever. So there was a satellite in the Indian Ocean. Is it the Indian Ocean? There was a satellite over that area that had picked up that Malaysian flight, and for 7 hours, that signature pinged and confirmed that it was still flying. It was still,
Yeah.
had power and all that kind of stuff. 7 pings for 7 hours, and then when it was making its last attempt to make a ping, it lost transmission mid ping. Now, this one always sat with me because there were so many theories at first that it was shot
Yeah.
down. I'm not going to say what country they alleged shot it down, but it was really strange. So one makes you think like, what really happened?
Yeah.
Now they've found a handful of pieces, like a little small piece of the wing or whatever, on a beach line in Madagascar,
Yeah. I
and
remember watching something on that.
another island
Well, I think they
just off
found
of
a
Madagascar.
couple different
There's,
pieces, but
there's a
nothing.
handful of stuff.
But it was never anything
Yeah, no
definitive.
no black boxes, no integral stuff. They just found stuff that supposedly
Possibly.
had matching serial numbers to parts that would have been on that plane.
But what did this stuff have serial numbers?
Yeah, the one piece of the wing had a number that matched, so that's how they came to the conclusion that it was definitely from that plane. So
I don't know.
we have no record, like there's no cabin record or anything like that, so we don't know what the captain, the pilot, whoever is saying or going on. We don't know what the passengers were experiencing. One one can imagine and one can allude. We saw like a couple different documentaries about this a little while back,
Yeah.
and like one kind of had like a theatrical spin on it of what they believed happened.
Yeah.
um Now, during the investigation, also, they found that the man who was piloting the plane, who
Mhm.
was recorded as the pilot and who made all the transmissions to the air traffic control, they searched his apartment. He had a home flight simulator, and about a week prior to this flight, he had planned out and flown this same exact path that this flight allegedly went on.
Mhm.
And so they basically closed the case and said that this pilot went rogue and whatever, and that he just took these people on like a 7 hour plane ride and then he just crashed it out into the ocean when it ran out of fuel. That's what they're saying now, the official story. For a long time, we didn't know anything.
Yeah.
It was one of the biggest searches of its time. There was so many ships, so much stuff. There was one company that even came out and said, "Nope, we've got all this top of the line technology. We got all this ocean ground penetrating
Yeah.
stuff. We've got all this stuff. We will put all the money up. We will dedicate all the money until we find something. And then when we
Mhm.
find something, then whatever, we'll get the reward or whatnot." They spent a very long time. They searched long and hard to turn up nothing
Yeah.
until finally it's just like we're not going to keep throwing money at this. Like trying to find a drop of water in the ocean is impossible.
Yeah. Was there like any record of there being any like person of importance on the flight that somebody tried to like hijack or kidnap or whatnot?
That's where I always spin out on this theory ever since I heard about it. 'Cause I didn't know nothing about really Malaysia or anything like
Yeah.
that at the time. The only thing I knew about Malaysia was Hot Wheels. That's where they're made.
Yeah, they are.
But so I didn't know too much. So I would like to think that officially there is no one of any interest on the flight log. It is just a regular commercial
Yeah.
flight. So there
Hmm.
was nobody of any interest. Is the story. But I think that maybe there was somebody of importance on that plane. I originally, like, the first theory I alluded to was like, yeah, they said that Russia shot it down.
Mm.
And I was like, like, what's going on with that? Like, let me look into that. And then I don't remember those ever turning up any kind of positive lead. I think I saw some videos where it's like, oh yeah, they confirmed it or whatever, but I don't think that was factually true. And then
Yeah.
now
What
we
did
have,
Malaysia do?
yeah,
Right.
and yeah, and then now we find, after all the investigation, we found the satellite and everything like that. So one would lead to believe that the story is that the pilot just was like,
Just snapped and just
yeah,
kidnapped everybody and whatnot.
yeah, he had a problem and he turned and went rogue and
I know that's one of those crazy ones, but
took
it would be
238 souls with him.
that's crazy if there was somebody on that plane that trying to either get rid of or smuggle out of somewhere or
Yeah,
whatnot to make somebody disappear.
yeah.
But speaking of people disappearing, sorry, I got to put this back up some. There we go. I found a lot of cases of people just vanishing. It's not like in the missing 411s. It's not in national forests. It's not off on flights. It's not in any kind of whatnot. It's just like they've vanished off the face of the earth. You hear the where am I trying to get with this one? The one that I don't want to say the one that comes to mind when you talk about this, but like the most notorious one, Jimmy
Yeah,
Hoffa.
yeah.
Jimmy Hoffa. Nobody knows what happened to this man,
You got to almost bring up Jimmy Hoffa if you're talking about missing people.
right? Is he? Did he? Was it a mafia hit? Did he get killed and then Lord knows where he's at type
Yeah,
thing, or was it a government cover witness protection program type thing?
yeah.
This man just
Did a three-letter
dissolved,
agency get him?
right? Or that, or like did he know some stuff? So witness protection, so he just dissolved into the ether. So you never know the what
Got a face change and all that.
something like that. But anyway, I've got a couple different ones we'll talk about and whatnot. So like another one that kind of ties into like the 3-letter organizations type things, maybe taking people or whatnot and never hearing from these people again. Richard Calvin Cox in 1950. He was a West Point cadet. He left campus, met someone, and never returned. There's nothing on this man after that. So it's like questionable. Like, was it a possible intelligent recruitment thing? Like, was he?
That's what I was gonna ask. Do you know like who he was going to meet? Like, did
No,
he
they
say to
didn't.
his friends or anything?
They didn't say anything of that. It's just like he left campus, met someone, and never returned.
Wow, I go see a man about a horse.
Right? Something like that.
Huh?
Speaking about a man about a horse, there's an Arizona businessman, Charles C. Morgan, in 1977, claims that he was being that people were after him. He started acting really strange and whatnot. Then he disappeared briefly, reappeared, and then disappeared again under bizarre circumstances. Not quite sure what kind of businessman he was, but there are connections, maybe, or there's probably possible intelligence connections, organized crime, possibly secret operations.
Yeah,
Just
like an
another,
MK Ultra type thing or
just
something.
a man that disappeared into the ether. And then you've got some more famous names that leads you to believe, do powerful people get different investigation, treatment?
Yeah.
So Mr. Michael Rockefeller in 1961 went and explored New Guinea. And there's the whole other story on this, but I think his plane or his boat, I think he was sailing, if I'm not mistaken.
Have you ever been to Old Guinea? Is there an Old Guinea? I always think that this is always bothers me. If there's a new something, is there an old something?
Possibly.
Old Navy. Is there a new Navy?
New England. Well, we know that one. You have England, and then the
Yeah.
Pilgrims come over here, and you got New England, New Mexico,
New Guinea.
New Guinea. Yeah, I believe he was on a sailboat type thing. His sailboat sank, and then him and some other guy were on the overturned boat, and he said he thought he could swim to land or whatever. So the official narrative is this man drowned. But there are also possible accounts that he was integrated into a cannibal tribe when he was exploring New Guinea, and that he possibly could have taken, artifacts and whatnot. So maybe this man did end up back on land, met back up with this tribe, and maybe they ate him because of, certain things. But it's also said that maybe because of who he was, things were um withheld from
Yeah.
the investigation because of who he
Yeah.
was.
We can paint a picture and say, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is what happened. Nope, nothing nefarious, nothing. He was not doing any. No Rockefeller has ever done anything bad, wrong, or illegitimate ever in their life.
Of course not. Why would they?
No, they've never taken things. They've never used their power and their money to extort or manipulate anybody ever. And I am a very happy person. I love myself so much.
Yeah.
So, but no, I I've done a little bit of personal research prior to this into this particular Michael Rockefeller, and I believe that yeah, there were stories that he had artifacts that were of tribal importance or ceremonial importance that
Yeah.
he should not have. But
He was collecting he he was a traveler, so he had a lot
yeah,
of different artifacts from all over from all of his travels and whatnot. So
he's a very affluent person that
yeah.
is not used to people telling him no,
Yeah.
and he thinks that he can just buy anything,
Yeah.
including people back then.
Mm.
So yeah, of course, he probably got his hands and got stepped into some stuff he shouldn't have, and
Uh,
he disappeared.
out of everything that we've talked about, his is the most explained away by either drowning or, nefarious reasons for the tribe that he was investigating, not investigating, what's the word I'm looking for here? Studying, I guess, in New
Yeah,
Guinea. That's the best thing. I don't know. I mean, I guess all these other ones you could say they possibly have definitive answers of what happened to them. But not really. Definitely Jimmy Hoffa. Nobody knows where
yeah.
that man
I
went.
again, like I said in the beginning, some of them have official narratives and
Yeah.
official stories, and the cases are closed for whatever reason.
Yeah, so we have
Um,
that one from the missing 411, that little boy Jared Atero. His remains were eventually found, but they were found years later in a place that was searched when they were originally searching for him. So it's what took
suspicious.
him
Yeah,
in
suspicious.
the beginning, and why are there now remains in a place that
Has
he
already been looked over.
yeah.
Yeah. How did they miss something so obvious or
Yeah.
whatnot? Yeah. Yeah. And then like again with the Flight 370, we have an official story now with all the investigations that
I mean, you could say that Flight 19 had an official story too, that they just ran out of
yeah,
fuel and crashed into the ocean. But again, nothing was ever found. No debris, no nothing. You
yeah.
would think planes, there should be some kind of debris.
right. I
Like
understand,
the Titanic sank, and there was plenty of debris in the ocean. Like,
and like I was when I was doing a lot of these stories, research and stuff. I'm like, well, why are there not oil slicks? Why are there not? Sorry,
got a dry throat.
guys. Why are there not like oil slicks? Why are there not more evidence of some of these crashes? And I started thinking about, okay, like the Mariana Trenches, like some of these parts of the Atlantic Ocean, like this is vast amounts of water. I
Hmm.
can't even fathom the amount of water that's there.
Yeah,
So the oil slick kind of thing, meh.
but
But
it's like
there should be something. There's so much styrofoam. There's so much floatable stuff. There's so much.
were there styrofoam in the planes back then, like in
Oh,
1945?
okay, not in like the military planes so much and
Yeah,
everything like that.
but like we were talking about earlier, like that what's his name, Art Scholl, and
Yeah,
from
yeah. Art Scholl is a crazy one.
yeah, like
So if you're not familiar with Art Scholl, he is a world-renowned,
aerialist.
yep, aerial person. He has a an amazing history, a great talent. Um, he built such a reputation and such a presence for himself that he was actually hired to do some of the aerial work for the original Top Gun in 1985.
Hmm.
And so one day on filming, he was supposed to go out and film this flat spin
Hmm.
stunt that he's done countless times before
Yeah,
and all this in his trusted plane, his plane that he's done all the maintenance on, that he does everything,
yeah,
that he knows everything like the back of his hand. And he goes out and he's performing the maneuver with the cameras and all this kind of stuff.
yeah,
He has another plane that is spotting, that is following with him.
yeah,
They're approximately like 5 miles off the coast of California, I believe. And he goes into a spin, about approximately 4,000 feet, around the 3,000 foot mark. He's supposed to get out of the spin and start making a comeback. He's not. The spotter plane realizes, hey, like that's not good. Like he's not coming out of it. Then he radios over and says, I got a problem. Then about another 1,000 feet, he calls back over the radio and it's real staticky and says, I got a really big problem. And that's it. The spotter plane can't tell if he actually, like, they didn't physically see a splash.
yeah,
One would assume, he's still spiraling down. One would assume that he splashed. There's no physical evidence of him splashing. They searched and searched. Like, as soon as they realized, they whipped around, turned around, and came back to try to find him. So,
yeah,
like, 45 seconds for them to turn that plane around and get back over and nothing?
yeah.
That's suspicious to me. Like, I first,
And
my,
it, like when you were first talking to, us, I was like, well, maybe it's the Bermuda Triangle thingy, but they weren't doing this over the Atlantic Ocean; it was the Pacific Ocean. So it's like,
yeah. And it's a maneuver he's done again countless times. The plane has done it a bunch of times. Like, so why now all of a sudden,
yeah, was it government? Was it aliens?
right? Did he slip into a wormhole? Like,
Possible.
is that why the planes mechanically malfunctioned when he was supposed to come out at,
Yeah,
like, he's got to practice and worked out like clockwork. He's supposed to come out of it,
yeah,
and then he can't, and nothing he can do can bring him out of it? Was he in some kind of portal? Was he in something? They never found anything. They've never found him. So no anything from the plane, no nothing. Was it an alien? Was it a wormhole? Was it like,
I don't know. The ocean's a crazy place. Like, plenty of people and things and whatnots have disappeared on this thing. The amount of ghost ships
yeah, ghost ships are creepy and
that are on the freaking
strange.
oceans, like,
Yeah,
just what do you mean? They're just these giant ships just floating out there with
from
nothing on them.
all different eras of time. Like, it's crazy.
We might have to do an episode on that.
Yeah,
That's crazy. The ocean is just
yeah.
crazy in general.
It's not just like old cargo ships. Like, it's old like Victorian ships and stuff.
Ugh,
Like, yeah.
that's crazy. I might have to go deep dive that on before we even go to bed tonight. Well, I think we've come to the end of the episode, my guys. I think we've rambled and side quest enough. So I have a question to leave you with. So, what is the strangest disappearance you've ever heard of? And which of these cases bothered you the most? Leave your answers down in the comments. Make sure you like the video because it helps us out a lot, gets us pushed out there. Share it out to your friends and like minded individuals. And please make sure you subscribe because that also helps us and lets us know that you love us.
Yeah. It's not just vanity. It just helps us get pushed out so that we can help find people that share the like mindedness, like you said, and maybe we can find a few other people and
Yeah,
help lead them into.
I want to hear everybody else's, ideas and whatnot.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm not alone in all my crazy thoughts and whatnot.
We want to make the world question everything.
Of course. Well, my guys, I love ya. And remember,
Question everything.
we'll see you next time.
Stay safe out there, everyone.
Bye.
We love ya.